All right.
I'm a little concerned that there's no one else on here but us, but if people are using the website to get through, they shouldn't have a problem. And if they're trying other means, I would assume that they would email one of us, whether it's Butch or Jane or one of the board members, to let us know that they aren't able to get through.
Mm-hmm.
But it is fine.
The call-in number should still work, though.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I've called the meeting to order. Let's go through first order of business as we have several sets of minutes that we need to approve.
Uh-huh.
So first is, well, first in the packet here anyway, is on November 9th. Were there any changes or additions?
Line 103.
Yeah,
Can we change individual owners to individual units?
wait a minute, 103.
Individual owners.
Should we say individual units or houses or rentals?
That is.
I mean, I'm sure you said individual owners, but it just seems very accusatory.
It is, yeah.
How about units?
How about individually owned units?
Perfect.
Got it.
Perfect.
Okay, anything else?
That's all I had.
Jane?
Nothing. Looks good.
I'll make a motion to approve the November 9th minutes as amended.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve the November 9th non-public meeting minutes as presented.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. November 2nd, any changes with that?
I had nothing.
Nothing.
I'll make a motion to approve November 2nd meeting minutes as presented.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And I'll make a motion to approve the November 2nd non-public meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve the October 26th non-public meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Perfect.
Nicely done, Jane Leslie. Thank you.
Yes, Jane, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Jane.
Thank you.
I know this is going to be talked about in a few minutes, but as far as signing these go, are the board members able to get in there this week to sign all of these different minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then let's move on to town manager's report.
You are muted. You're muted, Butch.
Can we talk about that, about some sort of signature stamps, or I was checking around today, a lot of towns have gone to secure electronic signatures for all their boards. It seems to be working. Then you ain't got a physical stamp sitting in town hall, but we have them with the town treasurer, and then mine is there. If for some reason they need my signature, they can stamp it. So it's not that we don't do it. We secure them in the vault, and limited people have access to them. But it would speed things up. If you take a vote, we can check the minutes and we could stamp minutes, or you could do them electronically. We'd have to buy the software, but it's not hugely expensive. So I guess it's a discussion point.
I don't care either way. if the staff that is there is concerned about us coming in, then I won't come in. But if they're okay with it, I don't mind going in. So either way works for me.
No,
Of
I think
course
it's,
with mask and
you
everything.
guys are employees of the town. We just asked for masks, and that's what we're asking everybody to do. It's non-town employees that we were asked not to come in. So it's really up to you guys more than the staff. But I don't know any one of you that hasn't been in, doesn't come in without a mask on. So Tammy was there today, and I don't think that's, and if we have to change that, if we have more on your side, if we have an issue in the building, and then we have to go to the next step and say, everybody stay away. But just for speed and more comfort on your parts, I was talking to 2 different town administrators and managers today, and they just said the boards felt more comfortable if they were given the okay electronically. It was their okay, not misinterpreted by someone, but we're pretty small. But it's however you want to do it, because it is a big deal.
I think signature stamps are a good idea simply because if there is a case in town hall, and we can't go in to sign, then, in 2, 3, 4 weeks, we're not going in to sign 748 times all at once.
Yeah.
Especially for the minutes.
I mean, once you do this and we have a recorded vote, then it's pretty obvious who did it and who didn't. And
Yeah.
so.
Have Jane Leslie get the forms ready, and when we come in to sign these minutes, we can all sign one of the.
Yeah, you just have to give us a signature that we can send to the company. Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Perfect.
I'm one who's a little bit hesitant on that as a process. My preference and have been doing this, I don't want to say a lot, but somewhat, is having in whatever document we need to sign a notice that says a faxed, copied, or electronic signature is considered valid for the purposes of this document, and that wordage is on whatever document needs to be signed. And then, like right now, if that was on all of these minutes, I could sign mine and either scan them or fax them in. Tammy, you could sign yours, fax them in, and Jane could sign hers. So then with the minutes, you'd have 3 different signature pages with my signature on one, Jane's on another, Tammy's on another.
Do you have an example of that? Because we could, pretty much everything you do would just be simple, putting that at the end of, well, you've got it'd be kind of cumbersome on the payroll and manifests. But those are more or less initials anyway. Nobody uses, I mean, I usually sign just initial it, and you guys usually do that too. But that's just one set of documents. And as far as manifests go, you could get into them whenever, because technically I'm the top signature. So bills get paid. It's just you guys got to catch up on it, and that you've looked through them. And
As far as fax machines are concerned, I'm limited. There's one in my office at the middle school, but it works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't, just as heads up. So I'd have to, wait a couple days to see if it works again. I mean, it's in a very old fax machine. And the library is closed.
well,
So-
I mean, just a thought with OJ's suggestion, you could, if you could print, you could print a copy, scan it to yourself, and then forward it to the town hall. Would be the same deal, wouldn't it?
Yep.
I could scan it from work, yes. Yeah.
Yep, you could scan it and.
Yeah.
So,
That's a good, yeah, okay.
I will get the language that we've used that says the 2 parts of it. One is that fax, scanned, and copied signatures are, for the purposes of this document, considered as original. And then the second part is that this document can be signed in multiple parts and be considered a whole document. In other words, each of us can each sign a different document, but it's considered a single document. And even if we put, I mean, it's a sentence, and even if we put that on the manifest, each
Do
week,
that.
the minutes.
Right on the face sheet. We could do it right on the face sheet of the manifest.
Yeah,
Okay, let's give it a shot. If that's what you want to do. Well,
Yeah, because even if you stamp it, you still have to hand it in, you know. Oh, you have to sign online. I get it. Yeah.
Right.
Online.
Yeah. That's up to you guys.
let's try that. You know, I try to make myself available, and I know sometimes I forget to go in and need a reminder, but
Yeah, me too.
generally I'm available to go in.
And not
Even if
me.
even what's that? Yeah, not
Not
you. But even if it's after hours, if something is left on the counter, I've gone in after hours and
Yeah.
gone
Yeah,
in,
I've done
signed
that.
things and left.
Okay,
All right.
let's take, yep, we'll take little steps. Yep, good. I believe, I'm showing, the second item is to date, we've got 66 short-term rental registrations in. I'm not sure that counts the 16 or 17 that come in today. I believe it is, but I'm not sure. So far, I'm told by staff that we've only had one person who's formally complained about the process, that it was ripping them off. They were taxpayers and they shouldn't have to pay. That was it. So that's it to date.
Was that the same person we got a letter from or something? Because I remember hearing that already.
I did not look. It
Okay.
sounds very familiar, but
Okay, it's probably it then. All right, thank you.
community said committee had a meeting. Tammy can add to this too, but the thing I want to bring up tonight is the leasees, the two leasees we have requested no increase in 2021 due to the decline in enrollments and a possibility. And then they also would like to explore the possibility of a 3 to 5 year lease instead of the year to year, which obviously would have to go to two towns' respective town meetings. So I said we bring it to our board. I think it's going to be brought up in Woodstock as well by one of the board members sits on that committee. So
Yeah.
that's that. We can discuss that, or I can get down through mine. You can discuss it later, whatever you want to do.
Well, we can cover it now. I mean, the childcare center is down on enrollment to keep the numbers down to conform with the COVID requirements, obviously. And the senior center is, doing more work and spending more to get meals out and delivered versus having them come in and eat. So it's just, they're spending more as far as the senior center goes and making less as far as the childcare center goes. So that was the reason for their request, which I believe is reasonable.
Yeah. I'm fine with holding the lease amount the same as last year.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was
it's-
normally a 2% increase. So, I mean, it wasn't huge anyway, but it's every little bit helps nowadays.
yeah, I'm fine for that. And as far as the 3 to 5 year lease, yeah, I would say that I'd be open to that. But as Butch said, it needs to go to our town meeting and it needs to go to Woodstock's town meeting. So let's have something prepared for March. And I assume that the community center committee would work on a proposal for that.
Yeah. They're
Who's-
just waiting to hear back to see if Lincoln's board is amenable to it as well as Woodstock's board. And once they know, then they're going to work on it. I'll work on
Okay.
that.
Who's the Woodstock board representative?
Cheryl Reardon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm be interested in that.
So we'll work through the
Perfect.
minutiae on that. All right.
Yeah.
Want to give you a West Street update. AJ Coleman reached out to me last week, late last week, and said they were interested in doing the job this spring on West Street. Remember, we didn't sign the contract because of COVID.
Mhm.
And They agreed, after a little conversation, that they would hold the prices from 2019. So no increase in their quote, because we were thinking of going out to bid because of everything. So I'm pretty sure we should move in that direction. That's quite a savings potential, and they do a good job. So that's going to happen. We're pushing for early spring, late winter, early spring start as quick, early as they can, so
Yeah.
that the job will definitely be done before the summer traffic. So.
Oh, good, that's good news.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good news, actually, that they're holding the bid.
Yeah.
We did go out for bid on this. We don't have to do it again. We just
Yeah,
delayed the starting date. So I'm good with having AJ Coleman do it.
I am too. That's a
Yeah,
problem.
absolutely. Yeah.
They did great work. They did great work for us. So we'll proceed with that.
Yeah.
So just on budgets, I'm meeting, well, John and I are meeting with department heads starting Wednesday. So that we should have a budget to you before Thanksgiving that you can look over through Thanksgiving or whenever, so that your first meeting in December, we should have it to you so we can start discussing or comments on the budget. So that'll start this week. We've started, but we're going to formally sit down now and look at them and, add, subtract. If you haven't seen already, Nate was able to pick up to get a new truck. His other truck, I don't know, 4 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, roughly 3 weeks ago, I lost a wheel bearing and there was some rust. So I had him start looking to see what was out there, and lo and behold, he found a completely outfitted Ford F 550 with plow and everything. With the trade-in, we got the truck for 29,000 and change. You saw the invoice. We were saving. We had like 50,000 in the CIP. So that truck has been picked up. It went to work today. I think either last Thursday or Friday. I saw it today. And the PD should be picking up their new cruiser sometime this week, which was part of the budget. It was budgeted. We put it off till late to see how the budgets were looking. So that's that.
That's a
And
great deal in a truck.
yeah, it was the last one that was it not Wolfboro, but
Hillsborough.
Hillsborough Ford. I guess Nate had talked to him, and the guy called up and said it's the last one sitting here. It hasn't left, and the 21s are coming in, so
There you go.
make you a deal.
They're great. Now,
New
he
one.
got an extra year or two out of his old one, correct? Wasn't that
Yes.
scheduled to
He
be
got-
replaced 2 years ago?
Right, it had 100,000, well, just under 100,000 miles on it, and it was rusted. And then when the wheel bearing started to go, I said, "Hey, look, you got to
It's
get through
time.
winter." And so, again, 25-ish thousand dollars is that we can move around the CIP at some point next time we meet. So that's good news.
You skipped number 4, the test drill.
Oh, the test drill on the levee, the emergency notification drill. I believe it was last Friday or Saturday, maybe. I think it was Friday. I was home and my pocket buzzed and emergency notification levee, and so they went through the whole thing, reverse called the homes on the levee, all the state agencies that needed to be. And as far as I know, it all went well. And so that's good. That was part of one of the next to last things to wrap up and before we put a ribbon on this levy project. And in non-public tonight, I need to talk about it. I was on the phone today with Attorney Hilliard and Attorney Mallia and Du Bois and King on a couple of legal points with respect to the manual that I need to fill you guys in on.
Oh. Okay.
Butch, who initiated and ran that drill?
But that would be our dispatch center at the PD. Yep.
Okay.
Downstairs. That's our responsibility. So we'd been, I think the deputy chief had primarily been with Ron's help and been rewriting that, and Nate been rewriting that procedure. And then we had to actually run a test of it. So it went well. So
Good.
so we got that. Yep. And that manual hopefully will be wrapped up in the next month or so, if we can get over a couple of hurdles.
Nice.
And I think that's all I have. Right. This week.
Any update on Riverfront Park?
Just that we're waiting for the lab results. They
Still?
went
Okay.
in because of COVID, and we can't. I know Tara's been hounding Ray and stuff, and we just can't do a final drawing until we're absolutely sure that we've addressed all the brownfield issues there. We're close. I think we have, but until the official word comes through, we really don't want to put out a lot of hopes and,
Sure.
I
Yeah.
think the new plan's going to work. Right?
Okay, and when Ray does finalize or whatever that drawing, can we get him to do something? And I don't want it to be elaborate, but just a sketch to show that single driveway coming in and how it would affect both abutters or
Yeah, I
property
think-
owners?
Yeah, we're going to do that, and I think we should do that anyway. With even waiting for, I think I'd like him to put us how he thinks it and what that's going to look like.
Okay,
And both in it being the only entrance and then an entrance where you can come in through, we had two concepts. You can come in through the
right,
Playhouse or off Main Street. I think we'd show both of those.
okay.
Both of them together, and then just one being the exclusive, so. But I think we should do that even before, and we can get that out conceptually to everybody. But
Once
with Ray.
that's done and ready, I will talk to Mr. Bartlett again.
Okay,
And then depending on what comes of that, I would then go or not go to the other abutter.
okay. I was down there Friday before I went home Friday, and the Bartlett side, that is a wide enough entrance to the back of that complex that
Mhm.
I think it would be the preferred if Mr. Bartlett would go along with it. I mean, that it's wide. It's already established. I'm worried about in the latest talks with DOT with Riverwalk and stuff, the increasing any of those curb cuts, getting in increased traffic could be problematic. I'd like to limit it as much as possible, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, we could theoretically make those two separate curb cuts, the one for the plaza, which is quite large, and the one for the back of the shopping plaza there, and make them one unified entrance and exit for both, for the plaza, the shopping mall, and the Riverfront Park. I mean, theoretically, which would be, in my opinion, more appealing to DOT.
Yeah, the entrance into the smaller plaza is wide enough, but when it goes between their building and what I believe the rocks are, there's somewhat the property line, it does narrow up pretty good. So
Yeah, but we're not, I
it's a suggestion, like,
think that what Tammy's saying is what we had talked about with Ray is not choosing one side or the other, but getting rid of that concrete wall that's there and going right down the middle. And everybody uses one driveway. And I would think that as Tammy just said, the DOT would prefer a single driveway than the two wide ones that are there right now. I mean, there's
yeah, I
only,
think,
there's-
yeah, you're
there's
probably
only,
right.
yeah, 10 feet between the two driveways. coming out onto a state highway, I would think
Right.
they would go for one driveway
Yep.
of reasonable width instead. I mean, Linwood Plaza has a wide driveway there.
Very. And it would create more parking for Linwood Plaza. If that was closed up a little bit, they could get a few more spaces in there. I mean,
Including parking for their kayak trailer.
Yeah.
correct.
Well,
Correct.
I think that's a subcontractor, but yeah, I think that's a subcontracted business that just sets up.
It's a renter. It's a renter in that building.
Yeah, they have a unit. They have a unit there, yeah.
Yes,
They
that's-
do, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll get with Ray on that tomorrow.
Great, thank you.
All right, and everybody saw the memo that I drafted for the short-term rental change?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Well, I just have one more thing. In your packets, there was a email letter from Attorney Ricker from Primex, and that was a confidential memo. And I think the issue has been addressed. It was on with relative to our how we handled the the ski area.
Oh, yes.
So
Yes,
I
yes.
think that should remain attorney-client privilege, and
Okay.
so it was in your packets, and it should just stay in legal, I
Yeah.
think. Thanks.
So yeah, I did see your memo, OJ, and I think it's perfect. Is that going to be attached to the short-term rental ordinance or application?
Well, I'd suggest we somehow make it part, I don't know how much space is left on that form, but, or if it's an addendum, Ron's on, maybe Ron knows.
Yeah, I didn't see what OJ wrote, so.
Here, I'll forward it to you.
I should have forwarded to you, yeah. Actually, we should probably read this, just to have it into the minutes.
Yeah, good idea. Yep.
All right, it says for you, memo regarding short-term rentals. The following are not considered short-term rentals and are not subject to the registration of short-term rentals with the town of Lincoln. 1, any hotel or motel business where all the units are owned and operated by the same entity. 2, any condo hotel that operates in a fashion similar to a hotel where all units that are made available for rent by the public are managed by an exclusive on-site management company with no units being offered to the public by individual unit owners. Any hotel or motel that fits the above exclusions are asked to notify the town in writing that they are not subject to the registration requirement.
I think it's perfect. Thank you.
And I do think that should be added to that form. And I know that it's already gone out, but as more are requested or used, if that language were right there, I think it would clear up some questions.
Yeah, agreed.
We'll make sure it's on the forms in the, that are up on the website and all that stuff, so.
All right,
So,
and
so we should probably put a revision date after you make this, if you vote on this. Once we make the change to the registration form, we'll put a revised date.
yep,
I would make it this date if you guys agree. You could agree on, we could make it today's date whenever we
Yeah.
put it on.
Do we need to do that for the application? I don't think so. Just the ordinance.
Just the
For the-
amendment.
For the revision of the ordinance.
And
Yeah,
we
'cause really, you're revising the ordinance. Yep.
We
Yeah,
are,
one of
yeah.
want to make this as a revision to the ordinance and also add it to the application.
right. I don't know if we have to vote on it to add it to the application, but we should vote on it to change the ordinance. So I'll make a motion that the language in this memo be added to the short-term rental ordinance.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Jane Leslie, I just sent it to you in case you don't have it.
I didn't, Tammy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Butch, that's everything?
That's everything I have. Yep.
All right. Couple of things. We have an abatement request from New Hampshire Electric Co-op, and we just need to vote on it. This is the same settlement that we reached last year. This is the second year of that agreement. And the abatement is in the amount of $129,066.66. And I'll make a motion that we abate that per the agreement dated March 25th, 2019.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Tammy, did you sign that?
I didn't, I think, no, I haven't yet. And it wasn't, I think there's 2 signatures on it, so you're good. I can go into town hall and sign it with the minutes if Kristen needs me to.
If you want to, it's valid. Jane and I already signed it.
Right.
It's being just held pending the vote tonight. If you want to sign it, otherwise,
Either way, I mean, if it's there to sign, I will. If it's not, I'm fine. It doesn't matter either way.
all right. The next is we have an abatement request for accrued interest. This was a property tax bill that the owner was unable to pay on time in 2020 because of the COVID-19 being laid off. And we agreed to a payment schedule. Back in June, we voted on allowing him to pay in July, August, September, and October, 4 payments.
Yeah.
Right.
He has accrued, it looks like just over $100 of interest on that.
I think it's about 200.
106.79, I believe.
106.79 is the amount. And going back, and Jane, thank you for including these minutes. But I'll read from our June 8th meeting minutes. Said Chairman Robinson calculated interest that would be paid on this particular tax bill through October 1st, which is plus or minus $100, and suggested that the board accept the payment arrangement, and when and if all 4 payments are made in a timely manner, the taxpayer can then send in a request to abate the accrued interest amount. Robinson added that if the board should receive a substantial number of requests such as this, it may become difficult, and the board will have to look at each individual taxpayer's payment history and base their decision on a case-by-case basis. After a brief discussion, the following motion was made, and the motion was to accept the payment plan as offered, and provided that the payments are all on time and in full per the payment schedule, and at the time of the last payment, the taxpayer may request an abatement of interest at that time. And that was approved. So all we did is say that they can make application to abate the taxes without promising that we'd do so. It was in the amount of 106.79 when we had guessed at $100 plus or minus.
No, excuse me, OJ, I'm assuming that they were all paid on time? The tax payments?
It looks like it, yeah. I have to go unlock my door. Excuse me just 1 minute.
The sheet that we have in front of us shows that the payments have been made, but it doesn't show when the exact dates of those payments, or at least I can't see that the dates are on there. But the amount of interest that is accrued indicates that they were made on or near at the correct time because when I did the estimate, if they paid on time, it was going to be right around $100, and this is 106.59, 79, 106.79.
I'll make a motion that we abate the interest in the amount of 106.79. I don't know if we can say their names for this.
Yeah, we can.
Okay,
It's a
for
matter of,
Albert Greer Jr.
yeah, matter of public record, so.
So that was my motion. I make a motion that we abate the 106.79 interest accrued for Albert Greer Jr.
All right, I will second that. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Okay, that's
Aye.
unanimous. Next is we got a Board of Tax and Land Appeals from Robert and Lisa Drew for their property. This. I believe their property's up in Beechwood, but I'm not positive. But anyway, they're appealing the tax on it, and it looks like we're about $100,000 apart in the value.
Correct.
And I think you were copied on my email to the attorney,
Yes.
sorry, not the attorney, the assessor on this, and she explained that in their opinion, the comps that the Drews used to justify the values weren't all that similar to the one as the ones that our assessors used, and they stand by their values. So I say we let this go, and our assessors will handle this. And if Brooke Shiloh needs to be brought in, I guess that's it. We'll use that same attorney who's done all our other appeals.
Yeah.
So I have nothing else on that.
How far off were they? Say that again.
They're 100,000 apart.
It's about 100,000. Which when you first look at it, that's not relevant, obvious.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, would it be worth it to try to come to some sort of agreement and avoid paying attorneys? And
I think you've done that. I think they turned it right. You made a run at it, but they weren't interested.
Right.
the run at it that we made, though, is really just saying that we don't believe that we're wrong in our assessment. Which I guess we have to stand behind, because then if we change theirs, we have to change everybody's. So you're right, never mind.
Yeah,
I think
Just
the
hate to
comp-
get into another lawsuit. I mean,
again, this is really,
Yeah.
it's legal action, but it's with the Board of Tax and Land Appeals. It's not Superior Court.
right, but we're still gonna end up paying an attorney to handle it.
That is correct.
Well, the
Oh,
assessors will make the first run at it
Right.
at the Board of Appeals, and then
Right.
if it goes beyond that.
Well,
His,
let's let them take a run at it and see what happens.
well, the assessor's notes say the comparable properties that they, meaning the Drews, supplied are not comparable. I had asked their rep to supply better sales to support their number, and they never did. I feel the assessed value is a fair value for this property.
Okay. See, I don't have any of that. So, okay, we're good.
I say we let it
let the assessors take a run at it and see what happens.
Yep.
I
Yep.
agree.
Okay.
All right. Also, there's an agreement, and I haven't seen this yet, but there's an agreement in our package from George Sansucci
Yes.
regarding providing utility revaluation services.
Yeah.
I'm gonna recommend he did a great job on the cases of the cases overall, and I think we should stay with them.
For utility issues.
Utility issues, yeah.
Yeah. What I saw in here, that only question I had was the Eversource and New Hampshire Electric is the ones that, but he would value any type we were using, because I know we're looking for different electrical sources. I was a little
Yeah.
confused by that.
You know, these,
Oh, don't forget, the co-op is the ones that own the poles and transmission lines. That won't change.
That's not going to change. Okay.
It's just the
As long as
source
they're
of-
all,
Yeah, so,
okay, then I'm fine with it.
Well, I was wondering about the compensation in terms. Because this is a fixed fee,
Uh-huh.
5 years. I'm curious as to what we paid them the last few years and if it's comparable. And I don't know those numbers.
it was far more than $8,000.
No.
I remember he was in court. He
yeah,
was
but wait a
literally
minute.
in court,
This is just for
just for
the,
assessing.
this is just for the assessing purposes. If we go to court, we're paying him as we do, we pay him by the hour, but we split that with a number of towns, which actually makes it
Gotcha.
quite
Yeah.
affordable.
Right.
I don't know what the flat fee for assessing was in our last contract. It would be interesting to find out.
We can pull that and get that
I
to
mean,
you.
it is what it is. I mean, I don't think that's an unreasonable amount. I was just curious as to where
I
we
would
were.
like, yeah, I'd be interested in seeing what it was before.
All right, we'll pull the record tomorrow and get it to you guys.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, and
So we'll have to put that on the agenda next week to vote on.
Okay,
We don't forget.
yes, let's do that.
Okay.
I only had two other issues, but I think you're going to address those in non-public. One was a personnel issue, and another one was a personnel issue.
okay.
Jane, did you have anything?
No, I did not. Thank you.
We haven't heard anything back from Dave Fox from Aftelis, have we?
I have not.
Okay. I'm just afraid we're gonna run out of time to get the water meters on the warrant like we did last year because we didn't have enough information. We didn't have our ducks in a row, and that's what we're waiting on now to get those ducks in a row.
Check
The other
again
thing I was-
tomorrow.
Okay, the other thing I was wondering is the signs by the Citizens Bank, and I haven't gone over there, so I haven't noticed if there's signs being put
I
up.
talked with Mr. Bartlett about that.
Yep.
And he thinks the sign is fine. He said they don't read the signs anyway. That's basically what he said. He said that the smallest, the sign above,
Great, so what
clearly
do we have, so we should approach the state of New Hampshire and get that entrance closed because it's causing a problem and people are gonna get run over. I almost did on more than one occasion. I almost got ran into on more than one occasion. Of course, this week it's not a problem or an issue because most people around this week are locals. But this summer, it was a nightmare. And come this winter, you add snow to everything, it's gonna be another nightmare.
Was his objection to buying the signs or actually putting them up?
I couldn't read his mind. I almost repeated verbatim what he said. That he's personally sat there nose to nose with his car and another car. Changed words until the person there either got scared or whatever and backed up and and went the proper way. So he said, there isn't a sign you can put up there that's gonna change some people, and so he didn't seem very warm to replacing the sign.
I agree to what he says, but there's got to be some liability in that.
Well, it's his
Doesn't
lot.
I think we should approach the state of New Hampshire.
Do not enter. It says do not enter. It isn't a red, it's a white sign, but,
Because
so,
it's faded. It used to be red, now it's faded.
but there's one sign above it, and that's what he says. It's double signed there. And
Well, I think for the
I'm
safety,
just a messenger.
safety of the pedestrian traffic, if nothing else, the pedestrian traffic, maybe we should contact the DOT and see about getting that entrance closed. People are gonna be run over.
or asking them to request a new sign. And honestly, it's not, it's a state road, it's not a town road, it's private land, it's not a town land. But I think it's in the best interest of the town to have a
I mean, we can
functioning, visible.
just buy a sign.
I say, let's buy a sign.
and
I'll
get
buy
after
the
it.
sign if you put it up. That's not, the sign itself isn't the issue. It seems like the property owner has absolutely zero interest in putting up a new sign that's not faded.
Can we ask him again about the sign and say, can we buy a sign and put it up on that pole that on your land?
Yep.
I think it's on the tree, but yeah.
Okay, is it on the, whatever it's on? So,
Yep.
all right. Is there any public participation?
I don't know if there's any public.
Oh, yeah, I'm here, OJ. Can you hear me?
But before you
oh.
start, Paul, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but for the minutes, can we find out who DB is?
Dave Bowden,
Dave Bowden. Never mind. Thank you, Paul.
I think. You might want to check and have him answer you, but
DB, can you unmute and just let us know who you are so we have it for the minutes? I guess not.
All right, Paul, go ahead.
so I have a question. If I want to come in and talk to the Board of Selectmen about a non-public issue that relates to employee, how do I do that, given the situation that you're in today?
I would say, if I may.
Yeah,
Wants to do a non-public, if he wants me here or not, but we can just get off and it's non-public. You can talk to the board.
Okay, so I'll just send a request then, if I want to do that in writing, and you can just put it in your agenda like you normally would, and we'll do it after your regular meeting?
Can
correct.
do that, or if you got your notes with you, you could talk to them tonight. Whatever the board wants to do.
I'm not suggesting I'm gonna do that. Just want to know how I do it if I decide.
I'd like to keep everything virtual and we just get everybody off and you're in a non-public, so, yeah.
That's fine. I just want to, like I said, I just wanted to clarify how to do it. Thank you.
And Paul, just so you know, when they go to non-public, I make OJ the host, so he controls the room so nobody can enter.
That's fine.
Okay.
I would, like I said, I'm not sure I'm going to come in non-public. I just wanted to know how to do it if I decided to.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Ron, I saw that you had copied us on some emails with your exchanges with the state over
Some issues, yeah.
COVID-19. There's nothing from that we need to talk about in public, but is there anything you wanted to share with us or that should be done in public?
Well, it's pretty obvious in the news that the governor's announced that they've scaled back on how much contact tracing they're able to do. So they've got defined areas, age brackets, and they're pretty much leaving it up to the local jurisdictions to aid in guiding people that have tested positive or whatever. So I've reached out to the New Hampshire Health Officers Liaison Unit, and I've received some correspondence where they're going to be drafting up some guidance on contact tracing to be done locally. within communities, and I'll keep you informed how well that goes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Good, thank you.
Just to
Oh,
follow.
I do have one other thing.
Oh, go ahead, Butch was talking first and then Paul. Go
Yep,
ahead.
yep, go ahead.
Okay, just to follow up on that, I sent some emails today, expressing my displeasure with, the pushing down to the local communities, especially the health officers in particular. The state is, basically, backing off the contact tracing, because I don't know why, but they are. And they're putting it on local communities with absolutely no money following to help assist with. It's a time-consuming process, but it's needed. And so, while thank God we don't have, 100 cases, but if things tick up, and they tell us they're out of money, and I remind, I made the point today, just so you folks know, that, maybe we shouldn't have used CARES Act money for cell towers. Maybe taking care of our first responders and stuff would have been a wiser move. And I haven't received any feedback on that yet, but I'll let you know if I do. So I just think it's.
Can you run that by me again? We use care money for cell towers?
Well, yeah,
Can you run that by me again?
the cell
We
tower
did what the
project.
state did.
The state.
Oh, the state, okay.
For the emergency net, whatever. And here we are in a pandemic, and we've gotten to emergencies, and we've talked on radios for 45 years I've been in, 48 years I've been in. I think we could have got by another year or something. But anyway, I just rant, but I wanted to let you know that I, on behalf of Town Lincoln, made those comments in case you get somebody who says, what the hell is your town manager doing? But,
People say that all the time.
I know. But I just think it's pretty bad. But anyway, Ron is on point. I don't know. We're gonna have to do it because the state's not gonna do it, but we have to, somehow, if we get positive cases, we have to do our best to find out who they were in touch with so that we can notify, and there's a confidentiality thing, and it's a long process. And the state is just backed out of it. So,
And you hit on it too, it's budget. With the rise in cases that they've had, 300, 400, 500 cases a day, they've just run out of manpower and money to handle it. So it doesn't make it right, but you can understand
point
why
is,
it's happening.
shouldn't have run out of money. There was a lot of money. But
Do you think the governor's ever going to pull back on some shutting down the restaurants a little bit more in different places like that? Cutting off the borders? No, making people.
and I'm only guessing, but my guess is his philosophy in March was not to shut the state down, and I don't believe he's going to do it now. So
We're just going to get really worse and worse, and that's okay. We take care of it. All right. What it sounds like.
All right, Paul, do you want to say
Thank you.
something?
Yes, I did. Actually, it probably goes along with what Jane said. So this summer, we experienced all of these people coming up. Couldn't really go to places and do things, and there was parking issues everywhere. Has this board considered what could happen this winter, given the fact that Loon is not going to be servicing that many people? There could be a lot more people around, and parking and other issues that might happen. Have you discussed that?
We have not.
It might be, I'm just thinking that it might be a good thing to discuss. There seems to be, if you look now, this is an off season, supposedly,
Yeah.
and the traffic in town is probably pretty high. If anyone's been out and looked and drove around in it. So, people are still coming up for whatever relief they want to, what do they call that? When you're sick of COVID. So people are coming up and traveling, so this winter, I can't imagine it's going to be any worse, but might be nice to have some sort of a discussion or plan, or talk to the cops about, where all the people are parking. They're going to be hiking. They're going to still be hiking and snowshoeing and cross-country skiing everywhere, all over the place, parking on the sides of the road. So it can make it tough for a lot of people who have to move snow, could be tough on people who are individual property owners. I mean, just a comment that you may want to consider.
Point taken.
Yeah, I think it'd be worth, Butch, if you had a conversation with Chad, definitely.
Yep, to the extent we can. I
Yeah.
think the plow trucks have the answer.
Yeah, they do, but it's not a good one.
I know.
One of the things
Ron's got his hand up.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ron.
So maybe we could bring the chamber in on this conversation also, and maybe they can get a feel from the businesses what their reservations are looking like, and maybe some forecast, and also might give us an idea of maybe what to expect as far as business levels.
right.
Good idea. Is it-
I'm going to raise my hand here the official way. Is this, it's kind of cool. You get a little hand and goes up. See that?
I saw your hand. I didn't see the official
Yeah.
one.
To do my duty to God and my country. We got a letter regarding mandatory masks, and we read that. I think, OJ, you must have it. I have it. And I've also heard word from other community members about people wearing masks and not wearing masks. And we know that we're getting a lot of positive feedback that people are, but there's still people not doing so. And I know we run across the thing, well, it's hard to enforce. The police will have a hard time enforcing it. Maybe so, but if it was an ordinance, maybe more people would wear their masks, because people are starting to get scared now. I'm even a heebie-jeebie a little bit, and I never really get scared. So maybe we should think about that at some point. I don't know what you two are getting feedback from, or, people want other people to wear masks when they walk in a store. Or
Any place of business.
what's that?
I'm not aware of an email that we got. Was it this
I
week?
forwarded you an email today.
Yeah.
It was regarding it was late this afternoon. I got it from Woodstock. It involves the solid waste facility staff not wearing masks. The person who wrote it was quite upset. And so it's the first I heard of it. So I've already talked to Nate, and we're going to be addressing that first thing in the morning, because they got the memo from me on employees wearing masks. So we'll take care of that. But in that email, I believe what Jane's saying is the person mentions why you can't believe that the town of Lincoln doesn't have a mask mandate. So
Right.
I think that's what we're getting at.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe we could ask the businesses of the chamber if that would help out some of the businesses, because they don't want to look like the bad guy, is what I'm thinking. They're not mandating it. They're allowed. They're given the option to wear a mask when they go in places. Maybe they need the help from a mandate, from an ordinance to ensure that everybody is wearing a mask.
Yeah, I walked from the town hall to the supermarket today, down and back with my mask on, bought a salad and stuff in the store, left. And I met at least 2 couples with masks on and a family without masks on. So some are doing it, and that's out of the store, walking in front of Riverwalk and back of the plaza and stuff, just walking. So
Yeah, that's good.
it was just a snapshot, but people are doing it, some aren't doing it, so.
I don't know. What we can do to stop the spread of it in Lincoln, it would be great, considering we do have out-of-staters coming here regularly, and will continue to do so, which increases our chances of getting sick. So,
Agree.
All right. If we're good, I'd like to go into non-public to discuss 2 personnel issues.
Before that, though,
Oh.
can we get samples of what other towns in the area are doing for mask ordinances, and just look at them and see if it's
About New Hampshire, if we get them from New Hampshire, I don't think anybody locally has one. We'd have to get Nashua.
Plymouth, Littleton,
Plymouth-
Camden, they all have them.
They
Okay.
do?
Franconia, yes.
Plymouth has a
Yeah, because of the college.
college.
So if we
Anywhere
could get
common.
just a copy of what they're doing, just to see if it's something that would fit, that we could make fit and be able to enforce without straining our police department.
Yeah, and I can get you some examples from the New Hampshire Health Officers Board also. Sophia
Perfect.
Johnston has a bunch of examples she's willing to send me that you
Right.
can review.
Once
And
we
it
get it,
may
we'll forward to them. Get
They
them to
may
you.
or may not work for us, but I mean, let's take a look and see if there's something we can do without overtaxing our police department or health officer or something. I hate to go to, oh yeah, well, it's not gonna work. Let's look into it a little more than we have and see if
Yeah.
we can find something that might work.
Yeah, thanks, Tammy.
That sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Okay.
Okay, now back to your motion, OJ, sorry.
I'll motion to go into non-public for 2 personnel issues.
I'll
Oh,
second.
wait a minute. Wait, before you do that, did you want to read this about the State of New Hampshire Department of Natural and Cultural Resources at Lafayette Campground? They're cutting 25 acres of dead wood. Did you see that in your packet?
I did see that.
I don't know if
They
you
got
want
to make a parking lot?
That's what I thought, but it didn't say that. They said they're just cutting the dead wood and leaving the you know, the seeds and little trees to grow because they're opening up to sunlight.
Yeah, it says the remaining healthy trees will have more room for development.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's some, we can put this up on the website. So
Okay.
anybody can read it if they want to.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I
all I
think they're
had.
just harvesting. They do this periodically
Yes.
up there. It's like, is it a 12
Forest
year?
management.
Yeah, I think it's every 12 years, maybe. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's close to it. They do the harvesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm glad they are. It keeps a healthy forest. That's a good thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait, also, before we go on, we had asked about election results, and Kristen wasn't in, but she did forward those to us. We had 652 in-person voters and 286 absentee ballots issued. 5 of those voted in person instead, and 2 never returned their ballots and did not vote in person, and 1 arrived after November 4th, or November 4th. So that was a great turnout. 930 total votes cast.
That's awesome.
It is. It really, really is. A
Yeah.
lot of hard work for all you guys at the polls. I'm sorry I missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure you are.
The first one I've missed in what, 13 years or something.
Forever.
I think I'd rather go into the polls than be sick though. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was out for the count too. It was horrible. Okay, so I seconded your motion.
All right. All those in favor of non-public? Aye.
I
Bye.
All right, Ron.